I'm Louise Fagerskov, founder and director of Art 2030, and I'm here in the UN headquarters during the Climate Summit and the General Assembly, together with artist Jeppe Hein and the wonderful project Breathe With Me. The artist and Art 2030 is inviting everyone to come and breathe with us, because each our breath is connecting us to the Climate Summit. Plants, animals, humans, the entire planet has to breathe. We all has to breathe. If the planet can't breathe, we can't breathe. So come join us in the lobby with Breathe With Me.
Herman, Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Melissa. Let me begin by saying that it has been amazing to witness the evolution of Breathe With Me, and it is a genuine pleasure for me to see Jeppe and Art 2030's installation come to fruition here today. Now, over the course of the next week, Jeppe's incredible work will invite world leaders participating in the high-level meeting, but also New Yorkers in Central Park to reflect on the air we breathe and the fact that it is central to our connected world and to climate. And I think the theme couldn't be more fitting. The Secretary General has called climate change the defining issue of our time. And with the Climate Action Summit that our young people have kicked off today, and with world leaders assembling on Monday, now is in reality the time for the global community to step up and take action. Denmark stands ready to take its part in leading the charge. And as a colleague said to me recently, if not now, then when? This is the time. And this artwork, with its central placement here at the UN, will serve as an important reminder of the urgency of the climate change agenda, but also the sustainable development goals. At the same time, its participatory nature will remind leaders that only by working together can we create something lasting. And this is truly the new type of multilateralism that the Secretary General has been calling for in a nutshell. We know what to do. Now is the time to do it. Youth is at the center of this global transformation towards a sustainable future. And right now, as Jayatma said, some of the world's brightest and most dedicated young people are assembled in the Trusteeship Council chamber to discuss climate change and demand action from global leaders and governments. I want to say that I'm delighted that we with us today also have, as Melissa mentioned, the UN's Youth Envoy Jayatma Vikramanayake, actor, activist and UNEP Good, I was practicing this while Melissa was making her speech, actor, activist and UNEP Goodwill Ambassador Aidan Gallagher, my good friend, the boss of UN Environment, Inger Andersen, but also, and perhaps most importantly, the Danish youth delegates participating in this year's high-level event at the UN General Assembly. Your involvement and the involvement of your colleagues around the world and your continuous support of this agenda is absolutely essential if we are to make a lasting change. With inspiring people like yourselves leading on this agenda, I must say I remain a true optimist about the future. Now, walking over here, I was sort of reflecting on what is it that art can do for us. And the reality, of course, that art has the power to engage. It has the power to make us reflect and ultimately to make us change. It can do so in many, many ways. It can do so with provocation. But it can also do so by gently easing us in, reminding us that what binds us together is far more important than what sets us apart. So I want to end by congratulating Jeppe and Art 2030, Louise Fagerskov, on the official opening here at the UN. In my view, this is, however, just the beginning of a much bigger breathing movement you are starting here. Now, as a fellow Dane, as a fellow breather, this makes me very, very proud. Thank you.
Thank you. Martin, very much. And you've already been introduced, Aidan Gallagher, but I'm going to introduce you again. You are the Goodwill Ambassador for the UN Environment Program and somewhat of a rock star around the world as an activist. So we'd love to welcome you to the stage now to say a few words. Thanks.
First, I'd like to start by thanking you, moderator, this forum. My name is Aidan Gallagher. You may know me as an actor, activist, and UN Environment Goodwill Ambassador. It is a privilege to be at the launch of this Critical Use Summit with an art initiative that focuses attention to the greatest environmental threat our planet has ever faced: air pollution. Air pollution is the largest driver of climate change, so it deserves our primary focus. Air pollution kills 7 million humans every single year. 7 million is around the entire population of New York City. It's twice the population of Los Angeles, and that means that that's 7 million people dying every year. Those 7 million are families. They are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. They are children. Now, air pollution affects every species on Earth. But of special note to my generation, air pollution disproportionately affects children. Alarmingly, respiratory illness attributable to air pollution represents one of the main killers of children under 5, taking the lives of 570,000 children per year, according to the World Health Organization. Air pollution dramatically cripples the physical and cognitive development of children. Now, I'm working with the United Nations to spread awareness, to act now about this climate emergency, to inspire communication about the many climate solutions that we have available. We have all the technology and solutions. All we need is the will of the people to demand climate action. In 2016, the United Nations Environment Program launched the Breathe Life campaign, which dramatically raised global awareness about the dangers of air pollution on air quality, ecosystems, and environmental development. Now, as we go into the conference today and through this critical upcoming week, I urge all of you to unite in our common goal to spread awareness and inspire real action to reduce the threat all species face, that is air pollution. I know that together, with concentrated climate action, we can all beat air pollution and secure a future for our species and all life on this planet. Thank you.
Thank you. I think maybe we should change the motto to breathe clean air with me after Aidan's very, moving but actually foreboding speech, and those statistics are scary. And there's no one better to speak to us following Aidan than Ms. Inger Andersen, who is the Executive Director of the UN Environment Program, and I'm sure air pollution and many other challenges for our environment are foremost on her mind. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you. I invite you all to take a deep breath. That was provided by the oceans, and now I invite you to take another one. And that was provided by our terrestrial land surface. Every other breath you take comes from the ocean, and the other one comes from the trees and the biomass that thrives on the terrestrial surface. As we heard from Aidan, who by the way is a brilliant ambassador for United Nations Environment Program, air pollution is a fact of life, with the 7 million people dying prematurely from air pollution. Air pollution costs a total of $5 trillion in health costs per year. 5 trillion, it's unimaginable in a number. And we heard about prematurity of death, especially amongst children. 90% of the world's children breathe toxic air. And the kind of air that we breathe here in New York City is not of the quality that we would want, nor indeed in most of our major cities. We know that the soup of air that we breathe in is black carbon, is methane, tropospheric ozone, and other local pollutants. And when we have all of this in one happy cocktail, it clearly has an impact on our health. What we need to understand, therefore, is that we need to have much greater awareness, because you know what? Local air pollution is entirely resolvable by cleaner transport, by better energy that is clean, by ensuring that the toxicity of how we build is not one that emits chemicals, by taking care of our waste, by ensuring that methane doesn't emit, etc., etc. There are solutions. It is a question of will, it is a question of regulatory environment, it is a question of the industry leaning in and people demanding it. And part of what this fantastic art exhibit will do is it will pull people in and push the message out around the imperative of air pollution. People get air pollution. A child with asthma is something every mother will understand as that child struggles to fill the lungs with air, with clean air. A child dying from air pollution is something that every father or mother understands. But we need to connect this to the bigger picture of climate change, and that is what this exhibit will do. Right now, our GEO6, the Global Environmental Outlook Report 6 that we came out with earlier this year, projects, sadly, that as the trajectory is now, air pollution will only intensify. The truth is that we have had cities that have lived in extreme smog, in extreme pollution, have understood this and have invested in cleaning up. You can go back to Dickensian times and look at what some cities have gone through and journeyed and what actions they took. So this is solvable if we take action. So part of this art exhibit is, I really congratulate you, Jeppe, and it's very nice to have a fellow Dane doing this work, and I very much thank Ambassador Martin Billy Herman, and of course Jeppe for your amazing inspirational gathering of us all here, and Melissa for organizing and hosting this. But Jeppe, your art and the simplicity and yet the sophistication of weaving this blue pattern of interconnectivity and getting people to see and understand how their life and their breath is part of a bigger picture. That is what we look forward to today, to create together, and of course very much look forward to taking that into New York City and engaging with the public at large. So thank you. It is only through awareness raising that we can get much further information out there and many more people involved. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Inger Henderson. And now, last but not least, the final two speakers, the creators, Art 2030's Louise Marshall and the artist himself, Jeppe Hein. Please.
We are so lucky that we live at a time where our actions really matters. And that's why Art 2030 is working with the universal language of art. Because art can capture attention, stimulate imagination, and inspire action. Art 2030 is uniting the entire art sector for the SDGs. We truly believe that art has the power to unite and engage us all towards the most pressing issues of our time. Breathe with me being such a great example of this. Because breathing is about all life. We all have to breathe, physically and mentally, as individuals, and as societies. Humans, animals, plants, the entire planet has to breathe. If the planet can't breathe, we can't breathe. So by the universal action of breathing, Breathe with me connects the most fundamental thing we all know with the biggest and most complicated issues as climate change. Raising awareness that the air we breathe is part of our connected world and climate. Breathe with me makes the invisible visible. Starting here at the UN HQ with all of you, the youth, the policymakers and the state representatives, and then taking Breathe with me to Central Park, and from there onto numerous physical locations around the world, as well as digitally. This is a message from the people to the leaders, and from the leaders to the people. I wish to thank you all for participating and for everyone that made this come true. Artist Jeppe Hein and I, we invite you to join Breathe with me and Art 2030 as we work towards a sustainable future with the power of art.
Our life starts with an inhale, and it ends somehow with an exhale. And we have different lives in between, some longer, some shorter. All that we are breathing the same air, all of us. And it's keeping us together, somehow connecting us in between. So I'd like to invite you to breathe with me and the world, not only today, but the rest of your life. I'd like to invite the speakers first to come and make their breathing exhale here on the canvas. And then afterwards, we have to take a small photo also. And then I'd like to invite everyone here to come and breathe with me and make your statement on this project. Breathe with me. So very short, with a lot of love. I'm giving out something, and what I give out is something invisible. I'm doing it visible, together with you in one second. So there's not a competition, it's your own breath. So breathe in, you don't have to start where I started, start in your height. Make the pencil vertical. Put it, and on your inhale, and on your exhale, put the pencil and make the make one more, please. Just two lines, please. Because the first one is always a nervous line. Yeah. Please.
I can't draw straight lines, so you can.
No, but it's okay to be a little bit like. We are all like a little.
It was a P.
Don't say in public.
You don't have to go up. Just start with it. Here,
That was
another
a big
one.
one.
And try to do it next to the other one so that it's connecting if they can. It's fantastic. Because like our breath is always connected. So thank you. Thank you very much. The last bit is very relaxing. Thank you. Please.
Okay, thanks, good.
Yeah. That's why you feel right?
This is from all the swimming, huh? Swimming.
Thank you. Der går lidt mere farve på. Kan du ikke mere? Full length.
It's very straight, Marcy. That's so hard. Yeah.
Thank you. Have you all leave? You have to leave. Okay. Then maybe I invite you just to come and take a photo with me. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All together, the one who's been painting.
It had to go.
Okay, okay. We got a photo.
You go in the middle.
I'm gonna meet.
You go in the middle.
Can I take you?
I'll go on the other side.
No, you stay here.
You're good, you're good.
That's okay. I do like this.
Of course.
Okay. Where to look? First in the middle, and then to the right. And over here. And left. And a big smile.
And a deep breath.
Don't hold the breath.
Don't hold the breath.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I invite.
Thank you.